Hi, everybody. Welcome in on the Maroon Devil Coaches Show. Gary Ayers along with head coach Sherman Holt on a beautiful day here. Temperatures all this week have been, and in a couple of days, up near 80 degrees. It's hard to believe this is November and football season, but we're heading in to the second week of the state playoffs. And, Coach, obviously the reason we are because we had a great regular season, had a good win over Avery County last week. It's always good to talk about that. And I know Avery County had a tough season in that Western Highlands Conference, a tough league. But our Maroon Devils came out strong, right out of the gate, and I think really set the tone, and that was a big factor in that win.
Yeah, we had challenged them last week to start the game fast, really, be firing on all cylinders. And so our kids really played well. You never know, after the Robbinsville loss, you never know how you're going to respond to the, upbuild of a big game, a lot of implications. And so our kids done a real good job of responding well, and they played a really good football game Friday night. And we executed well offensively. Defensively was very stingy and didn't give up a whole lot of yardage. And so it was one of those things that, everything kind of worked together, and we had some real good special team play. All three phases of the game were very well executed and was very efficient.
Yeah, Coach, and let's talk about that a little bit. We always talk about the outstanding job our defense does, and it has been just great all season long. Our running game, our offense, able to get it done and put a lot of points on the board. Special teams, sometimes we don't talk about these guys, but special teams, especially the deeper you go into the playoffs, they can be a real big factor, can't they?
Yeah, you practice them all year, and everybody, has different outlooks on special teams. If you can win that battle, sometimes that can change your momentum for you. If you're in a close ball game and you get a big special teams play, it can jumpstart your team. And so we did some things last week. Owen Craig kicked a little bit for us. He was a soccer player and a team captain for the soccer team, and we waited for soccer season to get over so he could be available to kick, and he done some kicking duties. Brendan Lanning was perfect from PAT last week, and so those two guys have really worked hard. Brendan, of course, all year. Yeah. Owen has kicked off and on practicing, and then last week was available. And so those two guys have really worked hard, and the competition between those two guys has kind of, made it better, pushing each other. And so that's always good. But our kickoff coverage team done a real good job last week. Yeah. I thought we tackled very well, and that's always a big one. Running down on kickoff, staying in your lane, limiting the big return so they don't get good field position. And so our kids done a real good job in special teams, whether it was kicking, coverage, PAT, whatever it may be. We had a real good game of special teams play.
Yeah. And, Coach, as our fans know, and and of course our players realize, that is more than likely our last home game of this playoff season. Before we get into Bessemer City, I know we want to take time and talk about some people who kind of keep these guys fed and strong and keeping them full and ready to go for this second round playoff game at Bessemer City this week. Some folks you want to recognize.
Yeah, so this week, when we get into playoff time, our routine changes a little bit as far as the people that feed us. Most of the time, it's parents or just people in the community, individuals that, hey, I'm going to cook hamburgers for the boys after practice or whatever it may be. And like yesterday, the parents that we had fry bread, and it was real good. And our cafeteria staff, can't say enough about them. They provide our kids with a snack after practice a couple days a week, and so it's just a group effort. And local churches normally do our pregame. Of course, in the playoffs, when you travel, sometimes you eat at a restaurant, and so that's what's going to happen this week. And so it's just, again, our community is awesome. Yeah. And they do a real good job of making sure these kids are taken care of and they feed them well. And so we just want to say thank you to everybody that has contributed to our kids and feeding them. And like McDonald's, they feed us hamburgers and chicken sandwiches every once in a while, and Bojangles does I think we have Bojangles chicken I think Monday or Tuesday after practice. And so it's just a community effort. The businesses help us, individuals help us, and we can't say thank you enough.
Yeah. talking about people who mean a lot to this athletic program, we would be remiss if we didn't talk about the loss of our certified athletic trainer, talking about Carrie Powell, who we lost this week. And Coach, what a loss that is. Carrie was not only a great certified athletic trainer, one of the best I've ever seen anywhere at any high school. She knew her craft. She was very, very good at what she did. But maybe even more so than that, she really considered Swain County High School her family. She said that so many times, that Swain County High School made her feel like family, and it was such a loss this week. And I know the students and the coaching staff who worked with Carrie on a regular basis, it's a loss for all of us, and she is really going to be missed. Carrie Powell was a true friend and just an outstanding person.
Yeah, it was. It's been a tough week. Our kids, found out on Monday when we showed up to practice, and we kind of broke the news to them. And it's one of those things that there's nothing, in my opinion, that we could say that would, be justified for what Carrie has meant to our school, our community, former athletes, present athletes. It's just a testament to what she did for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
And it was hard coming in here on Monday, and our kids have handled it very, very well. I think I'm very proud of them of being able to move forward a little bit and just getting ready for our playoff game tomorrow. And so it's been one of those weeks that you're excited because you're in the playoffs, and you suffered a tragic event. And so our kids, I think, though, have done a real good job of handling, Miss Carrie's passing, as far as just because she meant a lot to a lot of people.
Yeah.
And, she was a very caring person, and she was very adamant about our athletes being safe, being took care of, physically being ready to play or perform whatever they were doing. And it's a tough loss for our community. It's a tough loss for our school. And I told our kids on Monday, we've got a job to do, and what a better way to go honor Miss Carrie than to go win Friday night and play your best and give your best for her and her memory. And I think our kids have had a real good week. They've stayed focused, and I think they're excited to go play Friday night for Miss Carrie.
Yeah. No doubt about it. A wonderful person, and we're going to miss her greatly. And Coach, talking about that playoff game, Bessemer City, we might have a little more motivation. It does for me anyway. Bessemer City, a number 8 seed. We're a number 9 seed. So they got seeded a little higher. I know they were the top-ranked 1A team in their 2A, 1A conference, but that just kind of gives you a little more juice, a little more to play for. That hey, we're playing a higher seed, so let's go show them what we can do.
Yeah, it's just a playoff mentality of you don't know who you're going to get. When the brackets are, when they put them together, and so you kind of got to embrace the mentality of, well, it don't matter who we got to go play or even where we got to go play them. You just got to go play, And so our kids, we'd love to have another home game. I think anybody would. But at this point of the season, you're just glad that you're able to go play. And, don't waste an opportunity to go play a football game. And so that's what our kids are going to do. And whether we got to go on the road or what it may be, that's just the way it is. And so we challenged our kids this week to – we said it last week. Our goal is to be practicing on Monday, yes. And so that's I think that's everybody in playoff football. And so big task. Bessemer City's a very good football team. They got a lot of athletes, and so they do a lot of stuff offensively that can present some challenges to our defense. But we've had a real good week of preparation. And so I think we're ready, and, our kids have done a real good job every week of being prepared, being focused, and being ready to go play.
Yeah. Coach, our fans have been to Bessemer City before. We know about those Yellow Jackets, so this will be nothing new. But I guess one way to look at it, there are only 32 1A teams left in the state playing, and we're one of those, which says a lot about the job you guys do as coaches and our players. Looking at Bessemer City defensively and offensively, normally they have speed. So is that something we're going to see again with this year's Yellow Jacket team?
Yeah, they've got some athletes that they like to get the ball to on offense, and they like to get into open space. And so big emphasis for us this week was, taking correct angles, when you're attacking the football. And then once you get there, making sure you secure the tackle. And, just again, it's just fundamental football stuff, and, the opponent might change, but you still want to go to the football fast at the right angle, tackle when you get there. On offense, you got to sustain blocks, you got to run the football hard, you got to sustain drives, get first downs, and be productive on the scoreboard. And so it's really the stuff that you have to do well doesn't ever change. Just your opponent skill set might change a little bit. And so Bessemer City, they do a really good job of scoring some points. And so our defense will be challenged this week as far as that goes. It's a high-powered offense. They've scored a lot of points. And so it's just another good opportunity for us to go really play hard and play our style of football. As far as, we want to be very physical. We want to be able to run the football, sustain drives, and, we don't want to give up a whole lot of points, and we want to score a lot of points. And so it's one of those things where our opponent might have changed, but the things that we want to do or that we have to do a good job of don't really change.
Yeah. And, Coach, we talked about this briefly just a moment ago. Against a team like Bessemer City, special teams can really, really be big. We don't want those big busted plays, do we?
Yeah, we've really challenged our special teams guys this week to be very, very disciplined in how they pursue the football, whether it be on punt team or kickoff team. And so it's one of those things, you got to stay in your lanes, you got to be disciplined. Watch for anything, any type of trickery in the special teams game, whether it be a fake punt or a fake field goal or whatever it may be. And, our kids have done a pretty good job of that in the special teams game. I wouldn't say that there's been any special teams play that's kind of cost us a game or cost us momentum in a game this year. And so really proud of those kids that play on special teams and what they do. And so it's just one of those things, you got to be on top of your A game, because like you said, 32 teams left. Everybody is here because they won last week. They won in the regular season. And so it's one of those things where you're getting down to where, there's not a I would say a bad team left. Right. Anybody can win. Don't matter where you're at, who you're playing, and so you just got to bring your A game, or you might be disappointed.
All right. Fans, that's going to wrap it up. It's always great talking with our head coach, Sherman Holt. Our Maroon Devils, of course, want to keep playing. Hey, we've always had a tradition, Coach, want to be playing football and practicing on Thanksgiving Day. That's kind of been something we've had a lot of pride here, and hopefully that'll happen again this year. But man, that really goes down the road when you're talking about Thanksgiving. But it's always kind of a Maroon Devil tradition.
Yeah, anytime, anywhere I've ever been, you wanted to practice on Thanksgiving, and it was really important. Yeah. And had some opportunities to do that, and here it's just not that it is expected, but now it is an expectation that every team, I think, strives to do here in Swain County, is to play on Thanksgiving week and to be that far in the playoffs, because the way it's set up now is, the fourth round's the week of Thanksgiving. And so if you're playing in the fourth round, you're a pretty good football team, and you got a couple more rounds to go. And so it's one of those things that you take a lot of pride in. Yeah. But it's so important, I think, for our kids to be able to experience that type of success, and I told somebody yesterday, they asked me about, our team, and I said, the thing is, when you have winning programs and traditions at programs, you got to keep that going. or it's forgotten, or you might lose it. And I think here we've never lost the fact of how important it is to win football games and be very competitive and play in those deep playoff runs. And it's like there's 32 of us left, and we're all playing to try to go make it to the state championship game and have that opportunity. And so it's one of those things that you really cherish as far as a player and a coach or a fan, of how important it is to play a deep run into the playoff. And so we're just trying to do what we need to do to be able to do that.
All right. Fans, more football coming up, and we want you to be a part of it. Join us right here every time on the Maroon Devils Network.